Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Heart to Heart series. Listen, on today, we got something that we're going to discuss, and it is Talk to Myself. Yep, listen, you know, a song is going through my head as I speak, but we'll get into that in just a minute. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back and thank you for coming back. All right. So I am Deetra Dennis and I am the founder of Full Circle Health Coaching LLC. I am also the heart health coach and I have the opportunity to work with women who value, own, and invest in their health. And I empower them with evidence-based and culturally relevant lifestyle interventions that supports them on their journey to optimal heart health. And here at the Heart to Heart series is really our virtual girl talk. You know, who loves I know I love talking to my girlfriends, having those conversations. Sometimes they're deep, sometimes it's just surface and we're having a good time. But that is what the Heart to Heart series is. It's a virtual girl talk. And we do that over a glass of red wine. And I use air quotes because it's not alcohol, it's hibiscus tea. And so, what is a better way to have a talk from the heart about the heart than to have something that's good for the heart, right? And hibiscus tea is just that. It relaxes the blood vessels, therefore lowering the blood pressure. So that is why that is our drink of choice over here. And also, I'm a Southern girl, and so sweet tea is the house wine of the South. So why not have something good, to drink while you kikiing? All right. So anyway, before we get into the content, I would love for you, and I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we are going to have some updates coming up real soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But again, subscribe to the channel, and then like the video. And then I would love you to share it with someone who you feel could benefit from the information that we discuss. And lastly, comment below. It is a virtual girl talk, so let's go ahead and have conversation down in the comment section, all right? And so let's go ahead and pour up our red wine and cheers, and let's have the discussion about talk to myself. Okay, so, I let the cat out of the bag, music, I love it. And so the song that came to mind was Talk to Myself by Christopher Williams. Talk to myself because there ain't no one to talk to. Okay, and that's it for that because, we can't be paying for the music, right? So anyway, but that song is what came to mind as I was preparing for us today. And if you see me looking down, as I almost knocked my notes off of the computer here, but if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes because again, I value your time and I like to give you value as we're talking because I can be a little chatty Cathy and I need to stay on task because we want to be powerful in a timely manner. How about that? All right. So again, when I think of talk to myself, how many of you talk to yourself? I know I do. I talk to myself. Sometimes it's out loud, and many times it's, you having that little chatter in your brain, inside your mind going at all times. Okay. And what your conversation could impact your stress level. Did you know that? Yes, it really can. And we're going to get into it. And so I want you to know stress happens, right? We all encounter stress throughout our day, be it at work, be it at home. And some stress is good stress, if you're preparing for an event or you're going back to school, that's short term. But it's the chronic stress that really has an impact on you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And so we want to be able to reduce the stress by some simple techniques, and that is why I created, I love creating a series. So we're going to have a 3-part series of self-care is stress care. Last week we talked about self-care is heart care. And so in this one, we're beginning this series with talk to myself. And so, as I mentioned before, when you have those conversations, again, I have those conversations every day with myself out loud, but again, most of it happens in the mind. And so the negative self-talk can increase your stress. But on the other hand, that positive self-talk can calm you down and reduce your stress or manage the stress for you, okay? So what we're gonna do today, and this one is gonna be a little short, this video here, because I want for us together, when those negative thoughts or chatter come to mind, we want to shift that to something positive, right? So that we can have a better outcome when it comes to the stress impact on our body, right? Because when that you're in a stressful situation and it's chronic stress, it leads to inflammation in the body and also leads to a lot of health conditions. So we want to, stop that. Let's shift. And so I have like 3 examples that came to mind as I was preparing. And what can we shift if you have that negative chatter going on? How can you shift to a positive? Okay, so if you see me looking down, again, I had notes of some things that came to mind. All right, so the first one, it says, okay, the negative chatter may be, I can't do this, because I had that situation very recent. Technology is really not my thing, but I'm learning. And so initially though, I was like, okay, I can't do it. I've never done it before. When I started in December with doing the videos here, I had never done that before, but I was like, okay, the shift that I had to say, you know what, I can do this, I can do this. And listen, I use scripture quite a bit with things to help me shift from the negative. So the scripture that came to mind was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that is what helped me. And here I am, that was December. Now we're here in June, December 2021. And now we're here in June 2022, and I'm still showing up. So I can do this, right? All right. So another one that came to mind is, I hate when this happens. And hate is a very strong word, so I really don't like to use that, but sometimes that little chatter goes off inside. And so we're going to shift that to say, you know what? I know how to deal with this, right? Or I've done this before. So you have a track record. If you were successful in it before, you can overcome it again this time, right? Okay, so that's another one. And the last one is, I can't believe I messed up, or I had a mishap, or a mistake, or a misstep. Can't believe I did that. But you know what? We're going to shift that and say, I'm human. I make mistakes. And you know what? I always like to say, if I've had a mishap or a mistake or what have you, I look at it as a learning opportunity. Okay, this happened, but what can I do to prevent that from happening again? So use it as a learning opportunity. So that is some conversation that I have when I talk to myself, when those negative chatters come, and how I shift to the positive. Now, I would love to hear in the comment, what are some things that negative chatter that goes on inside of your mind or inside of with your conversation, and how do you shift it to a positive, or how have you shifted it to a positive? I would love to see it in the comments. So that's all I have for us today. And so next week, I forgot what I named next week, but it's a good one. I know the third one is, I feel good. Oh, I know what it is. The second one is, stop in the name of stress. Okay, so stay tuned for what's coming up on part 2 of self-care and stress care. And I will go ahead and put it in the playlist. I'll put the link below to the playlist in the description. But if not, if you just come to the channel and click on playlist and look for self-care is stress care, you can see all the videos there as well. But anyway, that's all I have for us today. And thank you again for tuning in and allowing me to share with you. And I look forward to you connecting with me further by going over to Facebook, to the Facebook page at Full Circle Health Coaching LLC. And if you would like to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, you can come on over to fullcirclehealthcoachingllc.com. So again, thank you. And I look forward to speaking with you next week when we talk about, again, stop in the name of stress. You know how I like to end it with the quote, you are the full circle, and within you is the power to create, nurture, and transform. So until next week, we're going to say it like this: talk in power.